Walter Dill Scott was a man ahead of his time. As a pioneer in applied psychology, his work in advertising and the classification and evaluation of business, industrial, and military personnel had lasting importance. Scott was born in a small town in Illinois. He was always keen on learning new things and being productive with his time. As the story goes, even when he used to milk the cows at his parents' farm, he used to take a book with him to read and learn while the cows were given 10-minute breaks. His keenness on efficiency and learning peaked at a very young age. At age 19, Scott enrolled in the Illinois State University. He originally wanted to become a missionary, but instead took a liking to psychology when he read a magazine article about Wundt's Leipzig laboratory. On July 21, 1898, Scott went to study with Wundt and obtained his Ph.D. Scott then became a psychology and pedagogy instructor at Northwestern University. A few years later, his interest changed when an advertising executive asked him to think of a way to apply psychology to advertising to make it more successful. In 1903, Scott wrote The Theory and Practice of Advertising, the first book on the topic of advertising ever to be published. In 1909, he was appointed to the position of Professor of Applied Psychology and Director of the Bureau of Salesmanship Research at Pittsburgh Carnegie Technical University. When the United States entered World War I, Scott offered to help the Army select military personnel. At first, his ideas were not well liked, and not everyone was convinced about psychology's practical values. However, eventually, his ideas led to an improvement in selection, and he was awarded the Army's Distinguished Service Medal. After World War I, he formed his own company called the Scott Company. His company provided consulting services to corporations wanting assistance with problems of personnel selection and worker efficiency. While running his own company, he was also the president of Northwestern University from 1920 to 1939. His great contribution was that of testing some of the basic theories and tenets of psychology and translating them into a language that could be understood and used by advertising men. To share his expertise in the field, he wrote and published The Psychology of Advertising in 1913. There were a few things that Scott believed made an advertisement successful. The advertisement has to leave a lasting impression on viewers. It must appeal to customers through their feelings, like pain, happiness, and sympathy. It must appeal to the human instincts of customers, like maternal instincts, food, material possessions. And also, it must have suggestive influences to gain the customer's interest and curiosity. Here are some of the advertisements that Scott critiqued in his book, The Psychology of Advertising. Scott recognized that this series of advertisement always appeared with the exact same central feature, which made it easily recognizable to customers. Appealing to the client's memory was the best way to advertise. This advertisement majorly appealed to the emotions of overweight and obese individuals back then. The feelings of shame, denial, and the dream of becoming slim are all portrayed here, which makes it a very effective commercial. This commercial appealed to the human instinct of parenting that allowed customers to relate easily and therefore remember the product. The suggestion to rub the finger causes the customer to perform an action. This helps to make this commercial memorable. With no formal training in marketing, was Scott correctly analyzing advertisements, or was this just a money-making scheme? Let's take a look at a recent advertisement done by marketers from this generation.
Such a feeling's coming over me. There is wonder in most everything I see. Not a cloud in the sky, got the sun in my eyes, and I won't be surprised if it's a dream. I'm on the top of the world.
This is the end. Beautiful friend, this is the end, my only friend, the end of our elaborate plans.
This commercial was voted the best commercial of 2010. Walter Dill Scott came up with advertising techniques that are still used in successful marketing campaigns today. Using memorable logos, appealing to emotions, rousing the curiosity of customers, and using human instincts as a basis still makes up the foundation of all successful advertisements in this technologically advanced era. Scott paved the way for marketing and was truly ahead of his time.